Media Watch. I'm joined here in the studio by James Creedon. Good evening to you, James.
Good evening, Tom.
Let's start, shall we, with another top story we're following here on France 24. We've been following it for several days now. This is, of course, the question of will Scotland become independent in just over a week's time, and lots of buzz, presumably, on the web, is there?
That's right. A lot of articles in the English-speaking press and the world press in general about this referendum coming up on the 18th of September. And indeed, the fact that today, for example, one of the top aspects of this story, or the news aspects, is the saltire, or the Scottish flag, flying above Downing Street, which happens apparently on St Andrew's Day, Scotland's national day, but not usually. And indeed, David Cameron, Ed Miliband, and the three main party leaders, of course, travelling to Scotland today in a bid to convince Scotland to stay in the Union. Some people saying that, in fact, that this could have the opposite effect. Clegg, Cameron and Miliband think that by flying to Scotland, they'll help swing the vote. Sure, but not in the direction they suspect. And indeed, apparently, that has been one of the big issues about whether or not for London politicians or David Cameron to be present in Scotland, or by staying away, is it better, or by going, is it better? That's been, I suppose, one question. Lots of articles too in the media, Tom, such as in The Guardian. If Scotland votes for independence, the key questions answered. What will happen to the role of the Queen, for example, who will stay she would remain the monarch of Scotland. What would happen to currency? What would happen to their role in NATO? Would you need a passport? No, obviously. In any case, all of those questions being asked. Should foreign policy as well, asking, should Europe prepare the welcome mat for a brand new independent Scotland? So these are the sort of questions that are now being asked, and the sort of headlines you're seeing in the media. This, of course, after the Scottish Twitter sphere went ballistic, went into meltdown on September the 1st when there was a poll saying that the yes side had actually pipped the no side. This despite the fact that there had been a 14-point lead for the no campaign in mid-August. So certainly it is a roller coaster news story to follow. Lots of, I suppose, a certain amount of jocular, light-humoured tweets as well. An interaction between Scotland and Britain on Twitter. I'm leaving you, you can't, says Britain. I'm leaving, it's over. I'm pregnant, responds Britain. This, of course, speculation over whether or not the royal baby announcement yesterday could provide a feel-good factor that might influence the vote towards remaining in the Union. Tom.
Well, if it has that effect, I hope they give the baby a Scottish name.
Right.
They better think of one.
It would be deserved.
Let's go to a large story in the German media that they're all over at the moment, which is about the so-called Sharia Police. What's this about?
This is an extraordinary news story that the German media is really all over at the moment. Sharia Police arrested after confronting German drinkers. So the police in question were arrested for, obviously, completely unacceptable behaviour according to the German authorities. You can see here that they donned kind of orange fluorescent jackets with Sharia Police printed across the back. There were 11 self-styled Sharia Police. This was in the western city of Wuppertal, near the railway station. They were correcting people for drinking in public or smoking, and gambling was also being targeted. In any case, the ringleader is a German convert to Islam, and he said on his website that this was a stunt to raise awareness of Sharia as well as the decadence of drinking, gambling and smoking. Angela Merkel has responded, and it's become a huge story in the German media, and indeed there seems to be quite an emotional backlash at any such gestures in Germany, Tom.
I hope they're not at the Oktoberfest. They won't be very welcome, will they?
They'd need more than 11, I think, to please
they
that.
might. Let's move to Nigeria, because there's been a lot of criticism of a political campaign undertaken by the country's president, Goodluck Jonathan.
That's right. Well, we all remember the campaign Bring Back Our Girls from earlier this year because of the kidnapping by Boko Haram of dozens of schoolgirls. And Goodluck Jonathan's campaign for 2015 re-election is Bring Back Goodluck 2015. So a lot of people saying really that it's just quite tasteless, and indeed there was a lot of criticism of the Nigerian authorities at the time for their management of that awful tragedy. So some people saying it could be the most inappropriate political hashtag of the year, Tom.
Right, it certainly is one that we all know very well now. And let's just end, shall we, with a tech story. You are, after all, one of our tech resident experts, right. James.
Well, supposedly in name anyway.
The iPhone 6 was unveiled today. Tell us what the word on the street or on the Twitter sphere has been about it.
Well, I quite enjoyed some of these photos that were appearing on social media this afternoon, the unveiling of the iPhone 6. And would you believe, Tom, that this image here is actually an Apple flip phone from 1984? With rather fewer applications at the time. I think it had a nifty little sort of narrow pin sort of buttons, but I don't think it did much more than open and shut and telephone people.
That's all you want, really, in the end, you know.
Less of a distraction, it has to be said. Fun fact, Steve Jobs unveiled the Mac in 1984 at the same venue Apple is announcing the new iPhone 6 and iWatch today. Some people pointing out the irony of 1984 and the new sort of Orwellian world that we're living in nowadays with smartphones and tracking technology. I found this quite amusing on The Onion's website, The Onion being satirical for anyone who isn't aware. Apple unveils new unveiling product. The iLaunch, Tom. It's one to watch out for. Apple introduces revolutionary new laptop with no keyboard. That's almost credible because it looks quite like the old iPod for dinosaurs out there who remember that one. Apple, what else do we have? There was, I think number 7 was kind of amusing. Interim Apple chief under fire after unveiling grotesque new MacBook with sort of weeds growing out of it. I don't think that's quite the design of the new iPhone 6. You also had, what else? Apple, new iPhone good, you should buy it, CEO says. And I think this one sums it up really, number 13. This article generated thousands of dollars in ad revenue simply by mentioning the new iPad. And I believe I've fallen into that trap as well. So there is quite a lot of light-hearted humour online about it as well. I quite liked the 11, is it, or 12 kids' anticipated drawings of what the iPhone 6 might resemble. So I've given you absolutely no information about what it is actually going to be like. But it's bigger, apparently, in any case, than the previous.
Yes, as 11-year-old Elijah's picture would suggest. All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, James Creedon. That was Media Watch. Let's turn our eye now